Good afternoon, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I will determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release today, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be, and if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Tiffany Mancuso. Good afternoon, Tiffany. What's your date of birth?
12/25/81.
Tiffany, you're here on a warrant that I signed. I found probable cause for one count of petty theft. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
A public defender, please.
I'll appoint the public defender. State, what can you tell me?
No prior criminal history, Your Honor.
Really? Tiffany, I don't have an address for you. Where have you been staying lately?
I'm in Hernando. I was just recently thrown out where I was living a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
I recently just got hired over at Landscaping on 41 to start Friday.
Okay.
And I've been working for Able Body.
Very good. All right. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, Tiffany, so they're going to let you out today. You must be back in court then on the 21st of August. Very important when you get out that you contact the public defender, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Jennifer Leale. Afternoon, Jennifer. What's your date of birth?
5483.
Jennifer, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. Judge Toner set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to send you back to see him on August 28th. The public defender will come see you at the jail before you go to court, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. John Acton Lohman. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
4/13/90.
So you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Rupi. She found probable cause for one count of strong-arm robbery. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'd like a public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Grand theft adjudication in 2013, a burg dwelling unarmed adjudication in 2013, multiple counts of those. Possession of paraphernalia and or use adjudication in 2010, paraphernalia adjudication in 09, marijuana possession adjudication in 09, violation of Florida Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act, which was a delinquent, adjudicated delinquent back in 08. So no other history, Your Honor.
Okay. And, sir, I have an address for you. Looks like North Avenue in Zephyr Hills. Is that where you live now?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
Just about my whole life.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I'm trying to do some concrete for a fella I know in Zephyr Hills.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. Condition of the bond is that you'll have no contact with the alleged victim, who I believe is Jonathan Sachuk, but I don't think you know him, so that shouldn't be a problem. I'll have you back in court on August 28th. If you get out, very important that you see the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Justin Akemi. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
April 22nd, 1991.
Charge is driving under the influence. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
No convictions, Your Honor.
Okay. Justin, I have an address for you on County Road 222 in Oxford. Is that where you live?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long you been there?
Since 2014.
You have a job these days?
Yes, sir. Asphalt and construction.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $500, Justin. We'll have you back in court on the 21st of August. Make sure you contact the PD when you get out, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Gerald Baker. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
5474.
Gerald, you're here on a charge of burglary of a structure. There's probable cause for the charge. As to the charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender, State.
An adjudication in 2010 for a battery second or subsequent. An adjudication tampering with a witness, victim, or informant. Adjudication in 2010. Adjudication in 2010 for also a battery with that. Kidnap, false imprisonment, domestic violence, false imprisonment, mentally unable to stand trial in 2005.
Did you the right one?
And a possession of alcohol, adjudication in 96.
All right, that's good. Mr. Baker, I got an address for you on Tulip Tree Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long you been there?
3 years.
You have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
Cook.
Where do you do that?
Codis.
Okay. I'll leave your bond at $1,000. Gerald, we'll have you back in court on the 28th of August. When you get out, it's very important that you contact the public defender, okay?
Okay.
Very good. Jonathan Boubro. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
August 20th, 1982.
Jonathan, first thing I have is a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for sale of heroin, possession of heroin with intent, personal possession of a person in possession of a conveyance for sale of heroin, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Judge Toner also signed a warrant that found probable cause for sale of controlled substance in lieu of heroin and unlawful use of two-way communication device. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
The public defender,
I'll
please.
appoint the PD, State.
No convictions, Your Honor.
That's all. And let's see. All right. And Jonathan, I don't have an address for you. Where have you been staying lately?
Kind of bouncing around from place to place, but I had a friend recently that took me in, but it was only for a couple of days, and then this happened. So
Okay. Do you have
she's
a
out
job?
with you watching.
Do you have a job these days?
Right now I'm unemployed.
All right. On the first warrant, where we have the sale and the four other counts, on the first four counts on the felony counts, I'll set the bond at $2,000 on each count. On the possession of paraphernalia at $1,000. So in that case, it's a total of $9,000. And then on the second warrant, I'll set the bond at $2,000 on each count. That's 4 additional, so it's a total of $13,000. All of them coming back on the 28th of August. If you're able to get out, you should contact the PD right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you at the jail before you go to court, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Richard Dino. Oops, sorry. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
11/30/89.
So, Richard, the first thing I have is a warrant signed by somebody here in Hernando County who found probable cause for a battery, and then we have a charge of driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for that. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Disorderly intoxication adjudication in 2010, adjudication withheld for a battery in 2011, possession of marijuana adjudication withheld in 2011, a resistant officer without violence adjudication in 13, disorderly intoxication adjudication in 15, a dropped felony battery in 2016, driving under the influence adjudication in 2017, a resisting officer without violence adjudication in 17, a no valid driver's license adjudication in 18, and also showing that the defendant's a multi-source offender.
Okay. Sir, I have an address for you on Deepwell Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
About a year.
You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
Lay a fiber optic cable for
Okay.
shacking cable.
Okay. So I'll leave the bonds for the schedule. That's $1,000 on the battery, $500 on the driving. Total is $1,500. Condition on the battery is that you not have any contact with the alleged victim. Both these charges coming back the 21st of August. When you get out, contact the public defender's office right away. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Judge, did the warrant set a no bond?
I didn't get the warrant because it was a Fish and Wildlife, and the warrant was had $1,000 on it, so I assume it's not a domestic.
They just said all the bonds were zero, but
No, it doesn't really. It's just the paperwork that FHP and Fish and Wildlife use is unbelievably confusing. It's thermal fax paper. It's a mess. So.
okay.
So if I have a bond,
Yeah. Oh yeah, $1,500. Ray, when we're done, I'll show it to you. I'll see where the confusion comes. I'll show you. Mandel de Figueredo. Jeez, my goodness. De Figueredo. Manuel, say your last name for me.
We'll try that.
De Figueredo.
De Figueredo. I apologize. That's a lot.
Sorry.
All right, what's your date of birth?
9/11/86.
All right. You were here on a warrant signed by Judge Heineman. He found probable cause for 2 charges, tampering with electronic monitoring device and felony petty theft. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Adjudication in 2010 for a grand theft. Adjudication in 08 for a criminal mischief. Attempted grand theft auto adjudication in 08. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon adjudication in 08. A burg of a conveyance and withhold in 04. Grand theft adjudication withheld in 04. And then showing out-of-state history as well. There was a battery strangle that was referenced to 2015, but I don't have a disposition on it. And another domestic battery in 2010 with no disposition. And all of that's down at Illinois.
Okay. And I've got an address for you. Looks like Coronado Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long you been there?
About 2 years now.
Okay. You have a job these days?
I lost my job since I've been here.
Set the bond at $1,000 on each count. That's a total of $2,000. You'll be back in court on the 28th of August. Very important that you contact the PD if you get out. If you can't get out, they're going to come see you at the jail, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And Jeremiah Gaynor. Mr. Gaynor, what's your date of birth?
6/1898.
Jeremiah, I have a warrant signed by Judge Barbie. He found probable cause for 4 counts. Strong arm robbery, burglary of a structure, witness tampering, and grand theft. And then I have a warrant signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for occupied burglary, commercial, and criminal mischief. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel, or would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD, State.
I'm showing a dropped battery in 2017 and a filed Hillsborough aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. It was filed, that is recent June of 2019. No other history, Your Honor.
And I have an address for you, sir, on, looks like Mandarin Place in Tampa. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
11 years.
You have a job these days?
I lost it in here.
What were you doing?
I was working at Live Nation. That's at the Florida State Fairgrounds, and I was working at Golden Corral.
All right. I'm going to leave the warrants the bonds per the warrants. So on the first one, with the robbery and the burglary, the tampering and the grand theft, the bonds are $10,000, $25,000, $10,000, and $2,000 respectively, for a total of $47,000 on that one. And on the second warrant, the burglary is $10,000, the criminal mischief is $1,000. That's 11 on that. A total of $58,000 all the way around. All those charges coming back on the 28th of August. If you're able to get out, you should contact the PD right away. If you can't get out, they're going to come see you at the jail. All right?
All right.
Thank you. Michael Gaynor. Afternoon, Michael. What's your date of birth?
1766.
Michael, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on July 9th on a charge of ag bat with a deadly weapon. As to that charge, you're representing yourself. You got private counsel. You got the public defender.
The public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. Judge Merritt set your bond at $15,000. I can't change that. I will change the date. I'll have you back to see Judge Merritt on the 20th of August. They told you the 28th. The right day is the 20th. If you're able to bond out, you should contact the PD right away. If you can't, they'll come see you at the jail, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Patrick Heyman. Afternoon, Patrick. What's your date of birth?
4/23/65.
Patrick, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
The PD.
I'll appoint the PD. Judge Merritt set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. I will change your date. I'll have you back to see Judge Merritt on August 20th. They told you the 28th, but you'll be back on the 20th. Public defender is going to come see you before you go to court, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Jerome Langley. Afternoon, Mr. Langley. What's your date of birth?
11/7/81.
Mr. Langley, the charge is felony domestic battery by strangulation. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
To Willis, HTO felony adjudication in 2014, criminal mischief adjudication in 2010. To Willis, habitual traffic violator adjudication in 2010, a drop battery in 2010, as well as a felony battery or domestic battery by strangulation that was dropped in 2010. criminal mischief adjudication in '09, a violation, a battery adjudication in '09, a violation of an injunction that was dismissed in '09, a Willis adjudication in '09, a resist without violence adjudication in '09, a grand theft, vehicle theft, which was a burglary, it went to a burglary while unarmed adjudication in 2008, larceny theft, $300 or more with less than 5,000 adjudication in '08, felony flee and elude adjudication in '08, as well as HTO DeWillis, and a resist without violence adjudication in '08, DeWillis adjudication in '07, tampering, aggravated battery, grand theft and a petty theft adjudication in 2003, driving license suspended adjudication in '03, a resist without violence adjudication in '02, a DeWillis adjudication withheld in '02, a DeWillis adjudicated guilty in '02.
That's probably good. All right. Jerome, I've got an address for you on Coach Light Lane in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yeah, but you gotta put 809 School Street.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
How long has it been since you worked?
Since I got out of prison,
Which is how long?
5 years.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. Condition of the bond is that you will have no contact with Christina Salgado while the charge is pending. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. You don't contact her through any social media. Don't have a third person contact her. Don't go where she lives. Don't go where she works. Don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision she gets to make. She may contact the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case or your lawyer tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I'll have you held at the jail today up until 4 p.m. so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only would you get your bond revoked here, but you'd get new charges for violating the injunction. I'll have you back in court on August 28th. Very important that you contact the public defender's office if you get out, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Richard McDaniel. Want to start with your date of birth?
12/10/68.
Richard, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for violation of community control, I think. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD to represent you. Judge Toner sets your bond at no bond. I can't change that. I'll send you back to see him on August 28th. PD will come see you before that, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Gary Malloy. Well, Mr. Malloy, what's your date of birth?
June 22nd, 1983.
Well, I have two charges today, possession of drug paraphernalia and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, would you like to represent yourself? You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
I'm showing an adjudication for a resist officer without violence in 2018, possession of a controlled substance adjudication in 2018, a resist officer without violence adjudication in 15, driving with license suspended adjudication in 2013, burg of a structure and criminal mischief adjudication in 2013, as a dealing in stolen property adjudication in 2013, and no other convictions.
Gary, got an address for you on Tall Oak Lane in Newport Richey. Is that where you live?
Sir,
And how long you been there?
about 2 years.
You have a job these days?
No, sir.
How long has it been since you worked?
Since May?
Okay. Set your bond at $500 on each count. That's a total of $1,000. You'll be back in court on the 21st of August. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Jonathan Pacheco? Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
9/12/81.
Got 3 warrants for you today. They were all signed by Judge Toner. In each case, he found probable cause for a violation of community control. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Judge Toner, set your bond on those at no bond. I can't change that. I'll have you back to see him on August 28th. PD will come see you before then, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Eddie Ramos? Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
4/23/57.
So you're here on a warrant out of Osceola County. The judge in Osceola County found probable cause for a violation of probation and set your bond at no bond. We will let them know that you're here and ready to go. They have 5 days to come get you. If for some reason you're still here in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me, and I'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. David Wiggin? Mr. Wiggin, what's your date of birth?
12/6/85.
Mr. Wiggin, you're here apparently on a warrant out of Pinellas County. The judge in Pinellas found probable cause for a violation of probation and set your bond at no bond. Can't change that. We'll let the folks at Pinellas know that you're here and ready to go. Give them 5 days to come get you, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Tyler Danner? Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
7/2/2000.
Tyler, you're here locally on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for 5 charges: possession of marijuana with intent, possession of marijuana, drug paraphernalia, unlawful use of two-way communication device, and driving on a suspended license. And then it appears that you're also currently on probation out of Citrus County. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And so there's a probable cause arrest for the violation of probation in Citrus County. As to the local charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. I'm going to leave the bonds on the warrant, per the warrant, which is $2,000 on the marijuana charges, $1,000 on the paraphernalia, $5,000 on the two-way communication device, $500 on the driving, for a total of $10,500. The bond on the Citrus VOP will be no bond. So how this will work is if you're able to post a bond on the local charge, then they would take you to Citrus to start working on that VOP. If you cannot post a bond on the local charge, you'll stay here until that charge is resolved. Then you'll go to Citrus County to work on the VOP. The local charges will be back in court on the 28th of August. If you're still in jail, the PD will come see you. If you wind up going to Citrus, make sure you contact the public defender's office here to let them know where you've gone, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Jed, you got anything else?
No, sir.
Very good, thank you.